Industry Show. I'm your host, Nitin Bajaj, and joining me today is Pradeep Padala of Filament. Pradeep, welcome on the show.
Thanks, Nitin. Thanks for taking the time. Would love to talk to your viewers and talk more about Filament. Thank you.
Pleasure is all ours. So let's get started with who is Pradeep?
Yeah, I am. I'm at a core. I'm a builder. I like building things, and I have spent all my time in building infrastructure stuff. I would say myself as a builder, and not only just like building computer products, products for the software products, but also like just building things at home. I played chess and I built some bots as well. I played poker. I built some bots. Maybe we can segue into that at some point, but I'm a builder at core.
Nice. You're a maker. You make things.
Yeah, maker, I guess is the right word. Yeah.
Tell us a little more about Filament.
Yeah, so Filament is a cloud automation platform. It's a company we built to make automation super easy for people. One of the bottlenecks we see with our experience and talking to customers is that it's very hard to automate. Everyone wants to automate, but the cost of automation is too high. And the primary reason is code, right? Someone has to write code to automate. And Filament is a platform where we are making it super easy to automate. Our platform provides a visual interface. Some would call it as a no-code interface. We make it super easy to drag and drop and build a workflow, any automation workflow that people want to do.
How did you get started? Like, how did Filament come about?
Filament is kind of comes from like all of three of us, three co-founders, our experience. We spent pretty much all our life in infrastructure. We have seen inflection points from private to public cloud, VMs to containers, and now like on-prem software to SaaS as well. So if you look at those transitions, even today, it's still very hard to run these things. Right? If you take any SaaS like Zoom or Gmail, any of that, there is an army of people helping to make sure that it's always online. And we see that like many enterprises that don't have similar kind of expertise, similar kind of software engineers or skills, struggle to maintain that kind of efficiencies. So that's why we built it. So when we started, we didn't have like a clear idea of what customers' problems are. So we talked to many customers, and they repeatedly said the same thing again and again that it's still very painful. People have to, whenever there is a problem, like a website goes down, people spend many hours debugging and then trying to fix the problem and then bringing it back up. We went directly to that problem and try to make it super easy to solve that, like what people call as incident response. So that's what we're doing.
So just talk to us about customers you have, the team, the scope and size of the operations today.
Yeah, so we are about 20 people right now. So we raised a total of 6.5 million, which we just announced last week. We are currently, our product is available to everyone. It's freely available. Anyone can sign up with an email, and then they can connect their AWS account and start using it. So we're planning to onboard more enterprise customers. So we have a few design partners already working behind the scenes, working with them. So we want to onboard more customers as well. So that's where we are today. We're still an early stage startup, about a year worth of product development we have done. We'd love to have more people try it out.
Let's project forward. You've had successful exits. You've made some good investments. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, 5 years from now, I think I'll still be in a builder mode that continue to do this. Definitely I had to take a break. I think after Filament, it's been, even though I was in Cisco, I got a small break there. Same thing I had to do again, I guess, after Filament. But I'll probably most likely be continuing with, assuming things go well, Filament as well. And want to do bigger, better company, I guess. I thought about investments, and it's still a hobby, mostly a hobby, angel investments, various VCs and investors, and I help them out with due diligence or general feedback, comments, and that's been a lot of fun. I don't know if I want to be like a career investor,
Mhm.
but right now it feels like I want to build more. Even though I'm on the business side, I don't have to code day to day. I still can whip up code, and that's what gives me most happiness, I think.
Yeah. When you have fallen, what has helped you
Yeah.
get back up?
I think family is what helps me in that. My wife Rachna, she's really helped me out, and she's always supportive, and she's been the pillar of strength for me. And my son, I have a 7-year-old son. I think that's what makes it easier for me. I know I have a lot of founders and a lot of founders who struggle with challenges. So it's not as well advertised, right? I mean, we all deal with like challenges in day-to-day life and company and all of that. We're supposed to be strong, but we are also human, right? So that's what I think family and core values are very important. For me, it's family.
What is something that you're not good
What is something I'm not good at? Yeah, I think I'm still learning a few things. I think one of the things in leadership I've been working on is to not react to everything team or people, my immediate team or people who are working for me, right? React to it. So a lot of times what happens is that as you build larger teams, as you're working with all these products, launches and all that, there will always be something that's bad. And I mean, it's my nature to like just go in and try to fix it, right? And teams are like debating or fight, not necessarily fighting, but maybe debating and
arguing? Yeah.
having, yeah. And there will always be some dynamics, right? You have to let it simmer and let them solve it themselves. So that's one thing I'm working on. I'm still very hands-on guy,
Yeah.
and I feel like I mean, I don't want to micromanage, obviously not, but more of like, oh, can I help in this area, or can I take this? Okay, should we hire one more person? That kind of thing, right? I'm learning that. I think I know there are leaders who do that very well. They know when to step back. They know when to jump in. They know when to just give the right feedback at the right time. I hope I can get better on that. So as leaders, we have to play different roles, right? Sometimes it's like a therapist role
Yeah.
that you have to play, where they're like ranting and you just listen and you're like, yeah, I'm always with you. If you need me to do something, let me know, right? That's the kind of thing I think I have to do more, rather than, oh, let me fix it for you, kind of thing, right? So it's been an interesting journey. I think that's a very fascinating side of leadership,
Mhm.
that it's a human emotional aspect. Uh, Sometimes people want you to be therapist, sometimes they want you to be peer, sometimes they want you to be boss. Actually, they want you to tell me what to do. I mean, I don't want to think, right? So you have to recognize that right moment and do the right thing.